Got him. Maybe not the biggest fish I've ever caught, but morning guys, here at a little lake in Fayetteville, and just popped out. It's September, really tough time of year to fish, so I wanted to get out here early and get on some topwater fish, and then later this afternoon I'm going to try to find some fish offshore. Probably going to have to resort to a shaky head or something like that to get some bites. Fishing's been really tough around here lately, but stay with me, we'll get some more fish. These fish aren't quite committing to this topwater this morning. I've caught 2 fish so far, the one you saw, and one even smaller than that earlier, but I've had 7 or 8 blowups. They're just not really getting the bait. It's slick, calm, and normally when it gets like this in the fall, I like to throw a popper because I can really work that bait really slow in their face. Also throw like a walking bait, but today I just wanted to throw this popper. The water's a little bit stained, so it helps calm up a little bit with that plopping sound. Got him. Up here. Oh no. Thought it was a good one. I don't fish shaky heads a lot, guys, and that's normally what happens when I do, but I'm hoping I can get a better fish today. That's pretty pathetic though. So I have 3 fish right now for about maybe a pound and a half, so that's just great. First cast on this spot though, so maybe there's more down there. Golly. Oh, good one. That one's taking drag. I don't know what I got here. Wow. Get up here, fish. What do I got, guys? I have no idea. This could be a big one. Oh yeah. Whew, there we go. Look at that one right there. That's a nice bass. Probably a 3.25 pounder, and he just crushed that little shaky head. And all I was doing was just dragging that bait down there super slow. These fish have not been very aggressive this time of year, and a lot of these fish are actually suspended, but a lot of times when those fish get in that weird fall transition funk between, like, you know, August and September, sometimes the only way you can catch them is slowing down with something like a shaky head and just fishing super slow in a lot of the areas where we were catching them in the summertime. I actually caught a bunch of big bass here in June. I haven't got bit here in a while, but decided to come here with that shaky head and got a nice bass. So look at that thing right there though. Whew, beautiful fish. Whew, okay, gonna let this big guy go. Get back down there, fish. Whew, awesome. So just got that fish on a little June bug trick worm, 7-inch, and I'm throwing on a 3/16 ounce ball head, shaky head, and I'm just fishing that really slow. I'm throwing it on a 7-foot medium action spinning rod with 8-pound fluorocarbon line, and that fish just crushed that little bait. I thought I had a giant on the way he was stripping drag though. You can see, guys, it's just slick, calm today. And a lot of times in the fall, you can actually get bit on like a football jig or, you know, deep diving crankbait, but when the conditions get like this, there's no wind, there's no current, nothing. Sometimes you just have to slow down, pick up that shaky head, and just fish super slow. Pick apart all of these offshore structure spots. These fish will set up in the same areas they set up in the summertime, and so if you caught some really good fish in the summer on a brush pile or a ledge or anything like that, come back and fish those spots, but just change up your presentation a little bit, and normally you can get some pretty good fish. So the spot I'm fishing right now is a road bed that stretches across this entire lake, and it sits in about 8 to 12 feet of water. And road beds are my #1 go-to structure in the fall because they attract a lot of bait fish, and then the bass will follow. And on any lake that has a road bed, there's always going to be sweet spots along that road bed. Like on this lake, there's a culvert which was basically made before the lake was flooded and is still down there. And there's also a really rocky spot that has a creek channel running right up against it. And these big boulders attract a lot of fish and bait. So whenever you're fishing a roadbed on your home lake, look for these irregularities, because that's where all the bass are going to be sitting. And I figured out that the best way to find roadbeds on a lake is to actually use old paper maps, like the Hot Spots maps or any other paper map you can get at your local tackle shop. And a lot of these Navionics and Lake Master chips do have roadbeds marked, but I found that they're not that accurate. And these old paper maps have really detailed illustrations of the roads, and they also show culverts and bridges and all kinds of good stuff. So definitely check out those old paper maps if you want to find more roadbeds on your home lake. Got him. Nice one. There we go. A little bit better one. Oh, broke my line. Good thing he didn't break me off. Fishing a little channel swing right here. I just kind of moved up a little bit further towards the top end of this lake, and that fish is super pale. Look at that thing. But this is really the last deep water before we move up in this huge flat behind me. And there's just a little bit of a creek channel swing and about 12 or 13 feet of water, and that's where that fish is sitting. Not a giant, but there might be some more big ones down there. So I'm gonna throw this guy back. Got him. Second little fish off this spot. Not a big one, but definitely grouped up down there. Just a nice little bass, but all on that little shaky head. And when I'm fishing the shaky head, all I'm gonna do is just cast it out and let that bait sink all the way to the bottom. Then when it hits the bottom, I'm just going to shake my rod a little bit and just drag it about maybe 2 or 3 feet, really slow. And then I'm just gonna let it sit for maybe 5 to 10 seconds. All my bites today have been coming when that bait's just sitting there on the bottom. And then I'll kind of pick up my slack, shake the bait a couple times, and pull it through any sticks or rocks that are down there. And the key to this is just fishing it really slow. In September, these fish a lot of times just don't want to actively feed. I've actually been trying to get them to bite a moving bait like this 3/4 ounce heavy spinner bait. And a lot of times this is a really good bait to catch them offshore in the fall when they're feeding on shad, but today they just won't touch it. And so I'm having to slow down with this little shaky head, just fish it methodically, and it's getting bites. Maybe not the biggest fish in the world, but hey, I'd rather catch some fish than none. So I just want to go through my shaky head setup again. Today I was throwing a 3/16 ounce ball head with this little bait keeper here, and I was throwing it with a 7-inch June bug trick worm. The water here is pretty dirty, probably only 1 foot to 2 feet of visibility. And all I was doing was taking this worm and threading it up onto this little bait keeper, like that. And you just kind of twist it up on there, and then you get it straight. And all I was doing was taking that hook point, putting it all the way through the worm, and then Texposing it on the other side. So you have that thing Texas rigged, and that's pretty weedless. And you also have that hook exposed so that when those fish bite it, all you really have to do is just kind of reel into them and they'll get hooked every time. And I was throwing a 3/16 ounce today because I was fishing in anywhere from 8 to 12 feet of water. So I wanted that little bit heavier head just to maintain bottom contact. But if I'm fishing in shallower water, I'll normally fish with an 1/8 ounce jig head, and especially when it's really calm, I seem to get a lot of bites on that really light jig head. And if the wind is pretty heavy or I'm fishing deeper than about 15 feet, I'll go up to a 1/4 ounce or even a 3/8 ounce football style jig head here, and I'll just Texas rig it on here the same way you would with normal shaky head. So that's what I was using. Well guys, that's it. Didn't catch any giants today. Caught that one nice one, but still had a lot of fun catching fish on this little shaky head. It's always fun getting out with a spinning rod and just setting the hook on a few fish. Especially in September, the fishing can be really tough. And whenever you find yourself in a situation where it's dead calm and the fish just aren't biting on reaction baits and you really can't figure out how to get bit, just go back to those little bit deeper structure spots that you fish during the summertime and throw a little shaky head, and you're gonna be able to put some fish in the boat. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, hit like and subscribe down below, and also share this video with a friend. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.